David Amanor ile Fifth Flow proqramını dinləyirsiniz. Language Services barədə əlavə məlumat üçün bu sayta gedin. bbcworldservice.com/flow.
And thank you, Elshin Khalilov of BBC Azeri, for raising the curtain on today's Fifth Floor. It's the place and the programme where you get to know the world through the eyes and ears of the 41 language services that make up the BBC World Service. I'm David Amano. In the coming hour, mindfulness sessions are catching on in prisons around the world. It's a kind of meditation aimed at bringing peace and perspective to inmates often serving long sentences far from home. Nanchanok Wongsamut of BBC Thai recently attended a session held by a Nepali Buddhist monk in Thailand's biggest women's prison. It's in the capital Bangkok and houses nearly 5,000 inmates. 400 of them are foreign women, mostly serving long sentences for drug offences.
He actually calls it cognitive transformation therapy. He describes it as trying to change how people think. On the day that I went, he started off by letting them sing a song about breathing, and then after that he talked about the benefits of mindfulness, and he would do it in a fun way. He included lots of humor and videos and examples for the inmates.
Is it kind of spirit-raising exercise, or does he go into psychology?
It's kind of like a combination between psychology and Buddhist principles. He uses a lot of Buddhist teachings, but it doesn't look like he's teaching Buddhism. For instance, he never mentions the word Buddha. And this is important because most of the inmates come from different religions. They're Christians, they're Muslims, and he doesn't want to be seen as trying to convert them into Buddhists or something like that.
And those on the receiving end, the prisoners, how do they respond?
I think most of the inmates really enjoyed it because throughout the session, I would see them constantly smiling, laughing, clapping and cheering, which is not the type of atmosphere you'd think could exist in a prison. Also, when I was there, I had the feeling that everyone is looking forward to the few hours that they could spend with the monk every single Friday, because during those times, they have 3 hours off from their usual work.
While there, you spoke with a couple of the older inmates. What were their stories?
So the lady from Kenya, she's 48 years old, and this is her 9th year in prison. She was in prison for importing drugs. She also had a life sentence, but it's now reduced to 34 years due to 2 royal pardons by the king. She told me that it was really difficult for her in the beginning. At one point, she wasn't talking to anyone except one person from her home country, but she was able to change her mindset when she listened to the monk. So now she's able to talk to people more freely, and she's able to open up.
So he's trying to give them some hope, because my guess is that if you were in a foreign prison and you've been given a life sentence, your spirits would be pretty down. Do you think he's getting results?
He actually told me about the results that he had prior to the session that he started with these foreign female inmates. So the first time he did it was 8 years ago at a Thai prison. It's called Bangkok prison, but that was with Thai inmates. And at that time, he taught inmates who faced capital punishment and life imprisonment. And he told me that a lot of people changed after attending the courses. So, for instance, in the past, they would blame the society or poverty for the crimes that they committed. But then afterwards, they would change their way of thinking in that they themselves would take responsibility for their actions.
He's not actually Thai himself, is he?
No, he's actually from Nepal. He was ordained as a monk in Nepal, but he came to Thailand in 1975. And he actually received a royal title by the king. And since he's been in Thailand for such a long time, he now has Thai nationality.
Is he well known in Thailand?
He is. He is very well known in Thailand.
You did say earlier when you entered the prison, there was quite a lot of smiling and laughter. They were almost kind of like having a party. Did they put that on for you, the journalists coming in, or is that what they do all the time?
So usually the prison has a New Year's party, but the foreign and Thai inmates together. But the inmates told me that it's not that fun. But this year, the foreign inmates had a separate party, but that party was organized by the monk. So there was lots and lots of food, and he even brought in a band to sing and play music to the inmates. All of them were having lots and lots of fun. They were singing, they were dancing, they were eating at the same time, and they even had pizza and cupcakes, which were made by the prison staff. And it was actually delicious, every single dish. And I think a lot of them really enjoyed it. I was talking to the monk a few days ago. He said a few inmates told him that it was actually the best day of their lives.
The best day of my life inside a women's prison in Bangkok. That's a different story, isn't it?
It is, because when I'm a reporter, and when I think of stories about inmates, I would think about stories that are really sad and depressing, the crimes that they committed, why they are in prison, and how they are struggling to get out. But this is a very inspiring story. It's about sadness, of course, but then it's also about hope, because I see these prisoners having hope that one day they will get out of prison, but not only that, but also that they will not feel totally depressed, totally sad while they're in prison. Now they feel like they have inspiration, that they are able to live their lives fully even though they're inside prison.
Nanjanok Wongsamut of BBC Thai. It's halftime on the 5th floor.
This is the BBC World Service,